Hi, very good afternoon. My name is Pradeep Sharma and I'm founder and CEO of teacherfirst.in. And I have got perhaps the best of the time. Third day of the event, 3 p.m. post lunch. So please bear with me and support me. So before talking about education, I want to talk about something very interesting which happened with me yesterday. In the flight, maybe a lady was sitting next to me, must be in her late 20s, and she was on the phone. And nowadays, how people use their phone is this way. I just do it. So this was before the takeoff, and she was talking like this. This is how she was using her phone. And she was asking various questions to that person. So, and don't judge me. Don't, I'm not that creepy guy who listens to others. The human body has a limitation that we can actually close our eyes 100% and we can't see anything. But in case of our ears, the sound waves fall on our eardrum and mind and our brain somehow make some sense of it. So I was just listening to all of that, and it's an involuntary activity, right? So that's disclaimer was there. So she was talking like that, and what I could make sense that for a single day she was here in Hyderabad, and after that she was trying to go to some hill station, and she was saying, okay, then what else should I pick? And the answer was on speaker. It said that you should pick your pink fur suit or something and some boots or something. Then she said, how about that gray one? Then the person from there replied, no, last month you already gave that to your maid. And I thought, wow, what a wonderful guy he is. I was really jealous of him. And I was also feeling a bit competitive. That time, it was before the takeoff. And I also called my wife for call, just to show that there are people also who take care of mine also. So I called my wife, hey honey, I am just reaching Hyderabad. Which suit should I wear? And the answer was, you are carrying only one wear, that why are you asking? But thankfully, I was on the call and she could not listen this. Okay. But I just did it anyway. And then when it took off and, when somebody sitting next to you, you start talking. And I always wanted to appreciate that guy, And I say, whatever it is, but you've got a wonderful boyfriend. And she said, boyfriend? Whom you were talking to? She said, no, this was ChatGPT. And it really happened. Oh my God. We are in 2025 and in 24, just maybe 6 months or a year ago, we just could not in our wildest of dreams can actually imagine this. And this, why I have shared this story with you, that how tough the prediction is, right? In these changing times. Let's say, now, if I ask you, what do you think about the weather for tomorrow in Hyderabad? And you make some prediction, right? You can make some prediction. At least I can make that tomorrow most likely it will be a sunny day. Pleasant day, sunny day, right? Tomorrow it won't be too cold or too hot. Day after tomorrow, after that, now my prediction will get weaker with the time. And let's say if I ask you to predict something, what will happen after 10 years, it's impossible to predict, right? I don't think there's any chance that we can actually predict it. And now let's say if I put a gun on you, let's say, ma'am, on you I put a gun, right? And say, ma'am, you have to predict what will happen after 15 years or I'll pull the trigger. You would say, are you mad? A human being just can't do that. So whoever is trying to predict the future is really impossible. But day in and day out, we are doing that. While we are teaching our students, let's say today a student gets into a school, he'll be out, let's say in 2040 or 35. Aren't we haven't we already predicted the future? And we are preparing that student according to that. We are doing that day in and day out. So the serious point I want to discuss about that we are living in this world of paradox, where at the same time we are preparing our students for something which we don't know anything about. Today, students are doing vibe coding. Couple of years back, students or maybe working professionals, a couple of years back, we could not predict it. Now what to do? Then what to teach today so that we can prepare our student for the future? Now the point comes, and even if you look at the communication and the marketing, you can see it all around, that we talk a lot about future. And somebody would say, we know about the future, and we are preparing our student for that. We'll prepare your student for that future. Our future is more correct than your future. And everybody is predicting the future. And some of the one university says the future is here, future. So what we have done, we are trying to prepare our student for the future. But again, we can't predict the future. Now, how to solve this paradox? For this, I'll try to borrow an analogy from the sports world, just to understand this little problem. Let's say in 2035, any of your student not pick, let's say a sport will be imposed on him that he has to play that sport professionally, right? And it can be any of the sport out of the 100. It can be cricket, football, let's say chess, carom, golf. Nowadays, this new entrant, which one? Currently, which sport is gaining a lot of popularity nowadays? Pickleball. Pickleball is there, right? So in 2035, if they have to pick a sport, how can we prepare them for today? Now we have to break that into two parts. One is the specifics of the game. If it is football, the specifics are different. If it is cricket, the specifics are different. Tennis, maybe in that case, this arm should be strong. In case of football, leg should be strong. In case of gymnast, there has to be elasticity in the body. So these are the specifics. But can there be anything which will be constant? Because that is absolutely. So the word is fitness. Whatever the sport will be, we have to make sure that our student has to be fit. He or she has to maintain the fitness. Now I come back to the education. In education, what is fitness? Because that is something we can work upon today. And here I would like to present the idea that these are the 4 points. The list can be long also. So, number one, I would say, would be student has to learn how to learn. Let's say, imagine you get into a school today, a class is going on, and this is not a science, math, social science classroom. This is, kya class chal rahi hai? Like we say in Hindi, learning. Sorry, learning is the subject. So in that class, students will be taught how to learn something. And I don't know why isn't it a subject in the school. It has to be there. There can be different names of it. It can be self-teaching also or learning also. So learn to learn. That should be the one thing which is equivalent to the fitness. Second thing I would say, the meta thinking and the questioning that why are we doing it? If we are learning something, why are we learning it? So we have celebrated a long right answers in a school, but never the good questions are appreciated, but never been measured. So that is something that we have to institutionalize in the school system itself. The third thing I would say, we have to make our students who can adapt to any situation. Now, sometimes I meet student, not student, let's say just pass out, 22-year-old, 23-year-old. They say, I'm a coder, I'm a designer. So they have that understanding in their mind that they have started talking themselves, suggesting themselves as a certain noun. But this is a time where to be a journalist, you just cannot, at 22, you can't say you're a coder. You know coding. Tomorrow it can be vibe coding. Tomorrow it can be designing. Tomorrow it can be directly you are doing it through some GPT. So we have to teach them how to adapt to certain situation. And then the fourth point I would like to suggest is we have to make our kids more human. How to be more empathetic. So these four things I think are the equivalent of the learning. Equivalent of in the learning as the word fitness in the sports. Now the role of AI also there. AI is a sort of thing which is impacting everything. Now if we have to make somebody fit, let's say I want to make muscle. The muscle making, okay, in a minute. Okay, in 1 minute. So the muscle making process, you know what is that? Once a tissue should be broken, then with the help of protein comes there, it fills that gap, and then that muscle becomes stronger. So that breaking of the tissue is important, where we are replacing that with AI. So make sure, take your pain, don't give your pain to the AI, otherwise your muscles will get weaker. And finally, the teacher for whom I work are the coaches. We have to make sure that they are always more aligned towards the being more human. They must know what is the difference between sympathy and empathy. They must know what is the difference between satisfaction and contentment. Once they'll understand this subtlety, which AI will never, we will definitely produce better human beings in our school. Thank you.